Just on the other side of the road, a couple of metres behind me, is Brisbane's RBWH hospital. Inside, that 26-year-old man from Stafford, north of Brisbane, who tested positive, is being treated for mild symptoms. Outside, dozens of people are lining up to get tested. They're heeding the advice of the government that if you've been to the exposure sites or have any symptoms, to get tested. Testing rates have tripled, and as such, we're seeing long lines across southeast Queensland. There are wait times of up to 6 hours in some places, and it's no doubt deterred people from getting tested.
People are not social distancing. We really need people to social distance. And the other thing that's coming back is everyone is doing handshakes again. Please, we are still in the midst of a pandemic. Now is not the time to break our social distancing, our good hand hygiene and the handshake. So I'm sorry everyone, but we need to abide by these things if we're going to get through this.
There is a general sense of unease here in Brisbane following the announcement on Friday of that new case of community transmission, the state's first in 13 days. What's worried doctors and the community the most is that the 26-year-old had been out in the community while infectious for about a week. And to make matters worse, genomic sequencing has revealed that he has the highly contagious UK strain. It's also revealed a link with a previous case earlier this month at the Princess Alexandra Hospital. Exposure sites are scattered across 7 suburbs and over a dozen locations, from shopping centres to supermarkets and restaurants and a hardware store, putting the city on heightened alert. And that list is only expected to grow, with one close contact testing positive yesterday, a man from the North Brisbane suburb of Strathpine.
We are not seeing large-scale community transmission. This is the close contacts. We're very comfortable where we are at the moment.
But the Premier has stopped short of locking down the city, in keeping with Dr Jeanette Young's promise that only vulnerable people would be locked down. And that's exactly what's happened here. Visitors are barred from aged care facilities, hospitals, disability accommodation and prisons in the Brisbane and Moreton Bay regions. Despite the government recommending the use of masks in crowded spaces, few people seem to be wearing them. As the anxious wait continues for Queensland and those people in the RBWH getting tested as well.
Connor, 4K reporting there, and meanwhile there have been lots of concerns about just how this affects the AFL after Brisbane Lions fans were sensationally asked to leave GMHBA Stadium minutes before their blockbuster clash against Geelong. Our reporter Lincoln Holmes was there filming this minutes after security ordered out hundreds from the ground in what's been labelled an extraordinary move on social media. Senior reporter Darby Travers has been following this story all weekend. He's got the latest.
Good evening. Well, the AFL has been thrown into absolute chaos following a number of new COVID-19 cases in Brisbane. Just moments before the Cats and the Lions were set to go head-to-head, the Victorian government declared anyone who has been in Brisbane from March 12th must isolate and get a COVID-19 test. The game was allowed to go ahead, but 2 Channel 7 commentators, Luke Hodge and Wayne Carey, had to leave as a precaution in a move that's been slammed online. Messages repeating the government's advice for Brisbane travellers to isolate were broadcast on GMHBA Stadium's big screens, as you can see there, while it was also covered extensively on Channel 7 and Fox's broadcast. Now, New South Wales Health has urged anyone who has arrived from Queensland recently to follow health advice from authorities, while in WA, anyone who has arrived from Queensland since March 20th must get tested and self-isolate immediately. It's expected that restrictions both locally and nationally will soon follow.
And don't forget, for our continuing coverage of the pandemic, simply head to 6newsau.com/coronavirus.